Hello and welcome to the Cincy Sports Pod. With my co-host Jack Snyder, we'll be talking Reds baseball. And as you see up on the screen, the starting rotation for the Reds has been unbelievable, starting out with Hunter Green tossing .98 ERA. Obviously, you got Brady Singer, Nick Martinez, Andrew Abbott, as well as Nick Lodolo, who are just probably top three pitching staff in all of baseball right now. And that has been a huge key to the Reds' success this season.
Yeah, it has. I mean, obviously, when you think Cincinnati Reds baseball, one thing that comes to mind is bad pitching. Typically, that's at least that's what I think. And this year, it's been a complete flip. Um, the hitting's been so-so. It's been awesome here. It's been not so great there, but the pitching's been really consistent. And Hunter Green looks like the best pitcher in baseball, and although we're at 8-8, not an ideal spot to where we are. I think pitching is the main reason we have won 8 games. There's lots to improve on, but we can get into these guys individually, but just an all-around and insane five guys that are out there. And when anyone's on the mound, I'm confident the Reds can win.
Agreed. The Reds have won their last five of six, 6-4 of their last 10. Currently really hot right now, all due to the starting pitching. And we've been getting more run support. The Reds have been doing a better job of capitalizing on runners in scoring position. So I think that's a huge key down the stretch for the Reds. Just got to continue to be aggressive on the base paths. Maybe not as aggressive as last year because you were dealing with less talent, but I feel like you get those runners into good scoring position, most of the time we're going to capitalize. And and when you have a starting rotation like this, you only really have to put up 3 runs or so a game. You don't really even have to go crazy for 5 runs because this rotation is, I think, tossing an under 3 ERA right now. So
Yeah, 2.87. That's what it is. It's really good.
it's third in baseball right now, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they have four guys under one. Ashcraft is at zero. Obviously, he comes in like later in the game, so it's gonna be lower. Santillan, I believe I'm pronouncing that right, .93. Lodolo, .96, and then Green, obviously, at .98. So that's just amazing. And
Yeah.
on both ends, starting pitchers and relievers as well out of the bullpen.
I think Alexis Diaz has his work cut out for him to be the closer when he comes back because of Santillan pitching so well. Um, you never know, that closer role could change. You never know. I mean, I love Alexis Diaz. I love the music that comes on when he uh, you know, exits, and there's just great scenes in Cincinnati when the sold out on a Friday night. Alexis Diaz comes out on the mound. You feel good about your chances. But I mean, the way Santillan's been pitching, I mean, who knows what's going to happen there?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Diaz just got activated off the IL list today, actually. So.
that's huge. Yeah.
He should be back. I don't know if he's going to pitch tonight or how it is, or what his timetable for actually getting back in the game is. But it's nice to definitely have him back in the rotation.
I think it was huge in the offseason to pick up Gavin Lux because you're not really uh, missing much when Matt McLean goes down with injury, which happens pretty often. So he can just slide right in there to his second base role where he started for the Dodgers on that World Championship winning team. Um, really no drop off. McLean may be a little bit better of a hitter, but really haven't seen it yet, but I'm sure it'll start to come around.
Yeah, McLean just getting activated off 10-day IL today, as well as Austin Hayes. So three guys the Reds are getting back heading into the series against the Mariners tonight at home.
Huge reinforcements for the squad because if the Reds have been this hot without him, imagine what they're going to be when they come back, and it'll just be huge. I mean, I think we've got to beat up on these I mean, the next 30 games I've been hearing the announcers say that the next 30 games are against teams that are 500 currently or under.
Yes.
So it's a huge stretch for the Reds, probably dealing with not as good of batters or pitchers to capitalize on this situation.
Yeah, and I think it gives obviously the pitching a chance to stay hot, continue their momentum, and also get some of these hitters to kind of bump up their averages. De La Cruz batting 238, not terrible, but for the player he is and people think he can be, you'd like to see him batting a little higher average wise. I mean, he does have 17 RBIs and 15 hits so far this season, so he's obviously playing really well, but and Encarnacio Strand 163, Marte 167, who actually just went back down to AAA Louisville today. McLean 214. So as you mentioned, the pitching is really good, but with this easier schedule, you want to call it, it's a chance for these hitters to kind of find a groove here early on in the season.
I totally agree. I'm really excited to see what Austin Hayes can do for the outfield because we've been really trying to find some consistency outside of TJ Friedel, hitting wise. Back in 2023, um, what was it? He's coming back. I'm trying to remember his name. The outfielder, right fielder. That's coming back. Austin Hayes.
Austin
Uh,
Hayes.
he's coming back. He was an all-star in 2023. So I think it's going to be cool to see what he does and if we got him for a bargain because we would be paying much more for him if he hadn't gotten hurt in 2024. So it's going to be interesting to see, find some consistency out there in that right field. Always shuffling around, whether it's, you know, Jake Fraley, who's not hitting the ball well at all. Will
Or
Benson, who
fielding
came
well.
up for a day and then got sent right back down.
Hmm.
And then you've got some other guys that fill in. Um, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. And then I'm excited for why is the screen lagging out so bad? I'll just hand it over to you, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, rotation out in the outfield has been important. Jake Fraley not performing well whatsoever. He's hitting 171. Um, at 35 at bats, he's only got 6 hits, so not exactly where you want him to be at. And I mean, fielding wise, just not good. If we go to see here, I mean, we gotta pick up some of these. He only has one error on the season, but he has those two misplayed balls in right field that got past him, went all the way to the wall. Got to clean that up. Um, so I just think the outfield could use a little more consistency. The infield's been overall pretty good. I mean, outside of Ellie's 3 errors on the year, the team's been looking really solid. Espinal had that great diving play the other day at second base, reminiscent of Brandon Phillips. That was a really nice play there.
I think
But
he's just such an underrated player for our team. You can stick him anywhere. He doesn't care. He just wants to get out there and play. And when he plays, he hits the ball very well. He fields the ball at an elite level. I just think he's an all-around solid player for the Reds.
yeah, I mean, he's hitting 275, 11 hits and 40 at bats. He's got two doubles on the year, two RBIs. Um, I mean, scored 4 runs. He's only struck out twice, so pretty good numbers there for him. And yeah, I think outside of I feel this team's been mostly consistent. Outside of when they're like Novelli Marte just has been brought up a couple times, got sent back down today. Obviously, Benson's been performing really well in AAA. Comes up for one game, goes 0 of 4, and then gets sent right back down. I just think when you're bringing some of these guys up, you gotta let them stay a little bit longer to kind of get into some rhythm. But overall, outside of that first game disaster where everyone was negative and thought the season was over, I think it's been going pretty well.
I'm not sure if that's necessarily that they had bad days when they came up. It's just they have to clear more room for obviously Alexis Diaz is coming back. You've got Austin Hayes coming back as well as Matt McLean very soon. So you got to open up those roster spots. And then another guy I kind of wanted to talk about that I've been really disappointed. Are we just ready to, you know, stock this guy up, Candelario, as like Mike Moustakas trade? Like, what's going on here? He's hitting 132 with one home run and seven RBIs. It's just he's just been sort of really bad or mid for us.
Yeah, and he's got the third most at bats on the team at 53. I saw something on Twitter the other day. Something about I think it was about the 1975 Reds and how they went on a really cold streak. I think lost a couple 1-0 games as well or whatever. And then people were like, "Yeah, this Reds team was really bad. And obviously, they turned out really good. So just have some patience here." And one of the top comments was, "Yeah, but how many at bats is Candelario getting on the 75 Reds?" And I
Yeah.
that was funny. He's just has not been good. And I mean, outside him and Fraley, I feel like have been the two biggest kind of letdowns so far. But outside them, but yeah, Candelario, it's not been pretty. Only scored one run, seven hits, um, struck out struck out 18 times, second most, only behind Ellie, unfortunately. But yeah, he's not performing well.
I think your ideal starting lineup for the Reds is CES at first. I think McLean at second when he comes back. Obviously Elliott short, and then I think either you stick Espinal at third or Lux at third and put one of those two in the left field spot. Um, and then I would probably go Austin Hayes in right field and then TJ Friedel in center. And obviously Trevino behind the plate, but hopefully another guy that needs to come back soon, Tyler Stevenson, because he's always been a very consistent catcher for us, and I'd like to see him back. Dude's huge for a catcher. He's 6'5", hits the ball pretty well. So
Yeah. McLean is starting today at
oh,
second
nice.
base. Um, Looks like Candelario is going to play third, CES at first, obviously Elliott at short, and then they got Fraley out and right again, Lux in left, and then Friedel in center. So not a bad lineup there in my eyes. And then obviously Lodolo is going to be pitching tonight.
Is
I'll love
Steer
watching him.
is Steer DHing?
No, Hayes is going to DH.
Okay, cool. Cool.
So yeah, that's the lineup for a game against the Mariners. Like they're also 8-8, as you mentioned, a lot of winnable games coming up to round out this month, and they can definitely make a push. In what's been outside of the Cubs, a competitive division, the Cubs are playing pretty well so far this year.
Yes, they are. I'll be interested to see like how we stack up against the divisional opponents. Obviously, just played against the basically the doormat of the Central and the Pirates. I remember there had been this argument about who's better, Ellie De La Cruz or O'Neal Cruz. It's just stupid. Like everyone knows O'Neal Cruz is like the Walmart version of Ellie De La Cruz. So I think that argument has been put to bed. Uh, Ellie's the most electrifying player in all of baseball. He's gonna be paid the most in all of baseball in a couple of years. So. Honestly, I mean, I like Elliot, um, what is it, at a shortstop, and like he's got a rocket in his pocket, like Snoop Dogg would say. But I honestly think sticking him in the outfield, dude is so tall. Sometimes he just makes silly plays at shortstop,
Yeah,
and I feel like it would just suit him. I mean, imagine him in center field.
yeah.
I mean, that would be ridiculous.
Who would you put at shortstop then?
Probably convert Lux to a shortstop or something. I don't
That's
know.
what I was thinking too, because he typically plays second base, I think,
Yeah.
especially when McLean's not up. He's battling injuries.
I remember when they slotted McLean over at shortstop. Oh no. And they pushed Ellie over to third that one time.
hmm
Because I think they had another guy playing second at one point. So
Yeah, yeah. I
and
mean,
then there
obviously,
yeah.
go ahead, Tim.
I was just gonna bring up a topic about the Reds maybe hiring Joey Votto as like a hitting coach or something. But I mean, we could probably talk about that toward the back end if you want to talk about. more about the Reds lineup and stuff.
I was just gonna kind of mention the schedule. I mean, you mentioned how they have some lesser opponents. They have the series home against Seattle for 3 games, but then they got to play 3 consecutive series on the road, which I mean, obviously Baltimore, Miami, and Colorado are all teams that are you have winnable games against for sure, but I don't know how much that being on the road is going to affect them. I think especially taking series on the road is important. Their road schedule so far this year, let's see, they are trying to pull it up. I think I want to say they're 5-4 at home. Uh, that math makes me say 3-4 on the road, but I don't think that's correct. I'll just double check here. 1, 2, 3. So they're 2-4. So they're 1-3 against the Brewers. Uh, 2-1 against the Giants. So that makes what 3-4. So yeah, they're 3-4 on the road. So I mean, not a bad start whatsoever, but getting those road wins up will be huge because I always expect them to play well at Great American.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's going to be a gut check to really see how good this team is going to be. Having three straight series on the road. Uh, I think the pitching has traveled well. It's just going to see what happens with the hitting, especially when you get up there in Colorado and the altitude is higher, and if the ball flies better or whether guys are getting out of breath within their at bats. It's just going to be an interesting stretch for the Reds for sure.
Yeah, you mentioned something about Joey Votto being hired for hitting staff. I didn't see that. What's that about?
Yeah, so I mean, there's been rumors circulating. I think it would obviously be a next year move. I feel like Joey Votto would want to come back and be a hitting coach for the Reds. I think that would ultimately help with the consistency within the batting lineup because I mean, you'll have I mean, I feel like this Reds you just never know who's going to go off on any given night. It's, you know, Ellie will step up to the plate and, hit for the cycle, and then the next night he'll be 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts.
Yeah.
Um, McLean is relatively consistent, but he can do the same thing. Steer hasn't been the version of himself that we typically know, but obviously has been injured and has only been playing uh, doing DH. So it'll be interesting seeing maybe Steer get back out onto the field, get those reps in, get the adrenaline going again. Hopefully, becomes more consistent hitter. Um, has Steer played in the? Have you seen him play in the field this year?
I want to say he has, but I'm not 100% sure.
I think they may have stuck him out in left field one time or so, a couple times. But
Got 46 at bats in 13 games played. I would assume so. I would assume he's played out in the field.
you want to talk a little bit about uh, March Madness closing up and the national championship for a little bit?
Yeah, we can. I mean, that game was awesome. I mean, I was rooting for Houston, so I had Houston winning my bracket, and all the Big 12 fans out there were hoping they could pull it in. But I mean, it was just funny the way the game ended. Uh, I think from what I saw, Houston controlled the tempo, the style of the game, and made Florida play Houston basketball in terms of slow the pace down. It's going to be 60s, is probably going to win the basketball game. Physical, gotta rebound. And at the end of the game, Florida just straight up out Houston in my eyes. They played better defense. They came up with more big time rebounds and were able to win the game. And obviously, Houston had a chance to win at the end. Obviously, Sharp couldn't get a shot off due to a really good closeout by Walter Clayton and a loose ball on the floor. And obviously, Florida won. It was just one of the better Final Fours I've watched in recent memory. And I think Florida, who was in my eyes, not the best team all year, but they definitely got hot at the right time, and I think they were definitely the most deserving national champion.
They were doing a really good job of shutting down Walter Clayton in the first half, but obviously the Giant has to come roaring in the second half. At some point, he is always clutch down the stretch. He I don't know why, but he really reminds me of Jalen Brunson. Like a guy that makes big time shots down the stretch. He's really good for an undersized guard with the post game.
Yeah.
Um, I just think he'll end up. I think your Bulls could honestly end up getting him in the draft.
I saw something about that. There's some heat on him falling to Chicago. I would not be upset about that. Um, but yeah, look, I mean, just at the stat, I mean, Clayton plays 35 minutes. He goes 3 of 10 from the floor, 1 of 7 from three. Uh, but he only 11 points, significantly below his average for the tournament. But he still gets 5 rebounds, 7 assists, has a steal and a block to kind of pick up where he didn't really have in scoring. I mean, it was Will Richard who kind of had 14 in the first half to really lead them. Um, and for Houston, it was LJ Cryer basically playing 1v5 on offense during most of the game. He was the only player above double digits for Houston, and he had 19 points. So, and he played 37 minutes. Just a really good performance from him, and it was a really good game.
Super disappointing for Kelvin Sampson. I wanted to see him get the job done, but obviously well done to Todd Golden and that Florida team because it was, I mean, that SEC, I mean, that schedule is just brutal. Um, and they were able to go on the road. Auburn beat them in the Final Four, and they overall just handled their schedule very well. Had a little bit of a scare against UConn earlier on in the tournament, but dealt with it well and kept on rolling through the tournament. And I think that's just a sign of a good team that when they when they get tested, they start to battle back and eventually come out as champions. I don't think there really has ever been a national champion that's hasn't been tested at some point within the tournament.
I mean, UConn's run was pretty dominant. I mean,
Yeah.
last year, but obviously, and it was fitting that Florida defeats the back-to-back national champions on their way to a national title. So that was a cool storyline, I thought. And they'll be good again next year. They're gonna bring back Denzel Aberdeen, one of their guards who came off the bench this year. Shinny Liu and Thomas Houck will obviously come up. Will be starting in the front court. Alex Condon did declare for the draft, but
Actually is testing the waters and may
yeah,
he actually may come back.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he did. And they got a couple four-star freshmen coming in: C.J. Ingram, Alex Lloyd, and Xavier Lee, the kid from Princeton, the point guard. He's currently on a visit down in Gainesville, so I wouldn't expect the Gators to go anywhere.
Yeah, that would be huge. I mean, it's kind of funny that that Princeton guard Xavier Lee is literally just posting everywhere and just saying hashtag not committed.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, okay, okay. But I wouldn't be shocked if he ended up going down to Florida.
Hmm.
I'd like to see how his game translates. I don't know. He is a very skinny guard, smaller guard as well, but very shifty, can shoot the ball pretty well. So
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's all for the Cincy Sports Pod. We'll see you next week. Talk more Reds baseball and talk NFL draft coming up. So see you next time.